I have the solution to all of your problems. Pay me lots of money. That's what you sound
Mhm.
like when you cold email somebody.
Our main issue is converting leads into meetings. Like we can have a lot of leads coming to us asking for help, but once we give them our lead magnet or whatever value we're giving out, it seems that there's a gap in them wanting to hop on a meeting or just give a solving issues for an issue like this is where the rewards come in, you know? So exactly our current thing is how to convert those leads onto calls. Like right now we send a lot of value on top of the videos. Maybe they want more audits, stuff like that, case studies and stuff like that. But the hardest thing is just getting them on a scheduled meeting, that sort of stuff. So I'd love your insight onto how we could improve that aspect.
Out of 100 times I ask for a meeting, 2.9% say yes. So
Mhm.
that is solvent. That is math that checks out. If
Mhm.
you're batting below that, then how you're asking for meetings is the challenge. If you're batting at 10 out of 100 agreeing to a meeting, then you're not asking enough people, in my opinion. So,
Mhm.
which of those two problems do you have? Is it below 2.9 or above 10?
I believe it's above 10. I believe the volume side may be the issue. Like, for example, maybe in the past week or two, maybe we had 15 leads contact us. And
Okay.
out of those 15, currently none are on a meeting.
If somebody contacts you inbound, your ability to book a meeting should be in like the 40 to 50%. But
Yeah.
outbound, 2.9 is what I do. And so
Uh-huh.
this means they've never heard of you before. You're contacting them, you're positioning a problem, you're suggesting a solution, and then a next step. LinkedIn is one of the best places to learn how to do sales. So I'll put that out there first. When you listen to the LinkedIn sales gurus, most of them espouse not asking for a meeting in the first email. And
Mhm.
they give all kinds of justification. When you're contacting them, you need to lead with value and you need to find what they're looking for and position a potential solution because every person right now is solving their problem with another means. So when you position it, you have to be cognizant that today the prospect, the Amazon seller, is solving their problem already without you. I have the solution to all of your problems. Pay me lots of money. That's what you sound
Mhm.
like when you cold email somebody. So you have to find a unique way to sound different enough and to help them in a way that they feel like you're going to solve their problem. What's the number one problem that your prospective clients need help with or have problems with?
PPC is a big issue for clothing and fashion. I had a brand contact us and they said he had 2,000 subations or variations in one campaign just itself. He was selling graphic tees.
Oh,
Graphic tees obviously don't have a lot of volume for each of their keywords, right? So it's more so based off auto campaigns. Also, SEO aspects can be tough. Also, launching new variations can be tough. One thing that we're trying to focus on is how to attract or launch for different seasonal products or catalogs.
when you're contacting the customers, do you have challenges getting initial response or is it just after initial response going to the meeting?
After the initial response getting the meeting. So the first email
Okay.
will be with the lead magnet or the free value. Then once we send upon that, the reply rate is not too high.
Where do you think the breakdown is happening? What do you say to them?
So pretty much I send an in-depth audit covering all PPC, SEO, catalog, and then I
Okay.
would say if you find this intriguing or you see potential in this, I would love to hop on a call.
Give me as close to a direct quote on how they respond.
Well, the main issue is most of the time they don't respond. The ones that respond will say, we appreciate it, great value, but right now we're not looking. Or some will straight up say, we don't have the depth skew for it.
The challenges with the initial response can be you don't have a good contact. You're contacting the wrong email, the wrong person. You go to the spam folder. You don't have the technical infrastructure built out. You have domain challenges. You're on a blacklist somewhere. You got to run some ESP health challenges,
Mhm.
stuff like that. And then if you're sending videos and audits and stuff like that, what I would say is you have to find a way to nurture them. So, how many times are you contacting them?
Well, if I post a video every day, Monday to Friday, I'll send those videos as follow-ups
It's
and it's
easier to
for
go
this
one
whole
to
email.
many versus one to one.
Yeah.
So I think you're making the
Yeah.
right choice on the technique. But how many times are you contacting these cold leads?
Probably 5 to 6 follow-up emails, and each of those emails will usually
Okay.
have, like, a sort of a new lead magnet for a video content, a PDF, all sorts of content, stuff like that.
And then do you know your open rates?
I usually tracked it before, it was around 50 to 60%. Now I don't,
That's high.
yeah.
My open rates are usually between 35 and 40%, even
Okay.
on cold emails. And so if you're at 50 to 60, that's a strong list, in my opinion.
What I really wanted to ask you was, since you are the king of CTR, right? How can we differentiate a main image for Amazon fashion? I was making a video and I was also adding new elements. So obviously, what I was looking at is for seasonal products. For example, if it's fall coming up and you launch a cardigan, could you include any elements of the fall season or stuff like that, right? Because clothing is usually based off price, review, your variations. It's more so what the customer likes, the design unique wise, but it's hard to really differentiate just based off of one item. What I realized.
We are seeing them get away with adding like purses like that. So
Yeah,
you see three of them right here. You got watches, and every single one of them, the head is getting half cut for
yeah,
whatever reason. Looks like it might be intentional. The sponsored brand video might be the angle to get season done potentially. I think the main image is going to be ridiculously hard on clothing. They are so much harder on that. So cardigan, let's
yeah,
see what that looks like. I think it's much more difficult to get that done. Like, we're not even seeing, like, color variation show up in the main
yeah,
image. Like, they have them under the main image, though, so that's,
yeah.
helpful. Like,
Like
basic T-shirt.
a bundle or something like that can be differentiated because for example, if you sell a 4 pack of maybe
Yeah, I see
boxers,
that
you'll
one.
have an image of someone wearing the boxers and then the 4 boxers on the side. Those are sort of ways, but just off like a standoff, like a dress, a blouse, a cardigan, it's very hard to
Yep.
differentiate.
I don't think you can go for CTR on clothing, to be honest. What I would do instead is I would focus on use the language from your customers. What are the customers talking about? What are they saying? What are they talking about that makes them stay up at night? And it's almost always, oh my gosh, every season change, I have to launch another 300 SKUs. That's the
Yeah,
thing that they usually
yeah,
complain about. The offer that you have is that you're dedicated to their problem, right? And so you know exactly the challenges they're going through. You know
yeah,
that they have high SKU counts, lots of merchandising work, loading data. I think you need to articulate scaling, merchandising, high SKU catalog challenges. That's what I would do. I help you segment your SKU count in PPC and in parentage, and I file the tickets to make sure it looks right. I make sure you have unique copy on every single unique variation, bullets, description, etc. So those are the things that I think you should articulate. I think CTR is off the table for you. I think you're going to
yeah.
have to let that one go, unfortunately.
So, especially targeting one niche, what we're trying to do is find specific unique problems so that if we were to showcase to clients that we have sort of solutions for this or we are addressing it, that's sort of also how you can differentiate yourself and break away to get maybe bigger brands that have this problem. For example, seasonal and holiday clothing lines, competition wise, maybe content creator collaborations externally on TikTok, Instagram, Amazon fashion, stuff like that. So these are just unique ways we're trying to figure out right now. And once eventually we figure it out or land it, that's how we're going to market it and differentiate.
I think you should come up with a liquidation strategy for seasonality. And by the way, I don't
Mhm.
have one. I'm just saying you should come up with one. So easy for me to say this
Yeah,
because that's what happens with the clothing brand. They're like, oh, frick, I've got 500 extra, sundresses. What do I do? Well,
yeah,
use my liquidation strategy, and it might be reduce the price to nothing, but at least you have a strategy to move the inventory so you can free it up, and they're not paying. Do you guys have an extra 1,000 units sitting at Amazon FBA? Well, I've got the solution for you. Here's my
mhm,
liquidation strategy. So when you talk to these brands that are in off season, they still have problems. You just got to articulate the
uh-huh.
right one. Subscribe to My Amazon Guy for all the insights you need to skyrocket your sales and stay ahead in the Amazon game.